Heather, and I'm your Soulful Cheerleader. Welcome to the Life Love Leadership Project, where we lead a joyful rebellion against outdated paradigms and help you rediscover your magic. I want to start off with a question for you. Do you trust yourself? I mean, really trust yourself. Now, that's something you might not have even thought of. You might have thought, how do I know if I trust myself? I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's put it this way. When you have the decision to make, how much external validation do you seek? Do you try to get the information you need to make a decision? Or do you get more information and more information and more information? Are you super data-driven? Are you looking at tarot? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've been known to do that myself every now and again. Are you seeking reassurance? Are you seeking certainty? The answer to those questions will help you understand if you really trust yourself or not. And if you don't, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. We're just bringing things up to the surface. And this is important because self-trust is at the foundation of everything that we do. If we don't trust ourselves, we're not going to trust each other. We're not going to trust our teams. We're not going to trust anybody else. And if you don't trust yourself, how can you make the important decisions that guide, that lead? And let's face it, we're not taught how to trust ourselves. We're taught to seek external validation. We're taught to seek approval from outside of us. We're taught to seek performance levels outside of us. We're taught to seek success outside of us. And when we rely on that external validation, we're giving our power away. We hesitate. We second guess. We look to everybody else to tell us that we're okay, that our decision is okay, that we're safe to make that decision. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. We just don't feel safe making that call because there's something inside of us says that the consequences of making a mistake are just so great, we can't bear to handle it. Now, how can we start to rebuild that trust within ourselves? There are a few things that you can do to start doing that, and it's not an overnight thing. It's not going to, okay, let's flip the switch and you got your self-trust back and yay, everybody's happy. This is a process. And these are going to be some simple steps that you can take to just start that process. And the first is to keep your promises to yourself. Keep your commitments that you make to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. I know it's easier said than done, but follow through. You'll start to rebuild that trust within yourself. And if you extend that out to others, you'll get that trust from them as well. That will be reflected back to you. The other thing that you can do is to start to listen to your intuition. And this comes through the practice of discernment because what happens is that we can easily confuse our intuition for our ego. And so it's really starting to notice that voice within. Get in tune with it. And this can be done through meditation, through just sitting at your desk and just taking a few deep breaths and just closing your eyes and just tuning in. And just seeing what comes up. There might be a chatty ego over here. There might be a calm voice in here that tells you that everything's going to be okay. Or there might be an inner child within you that says, you can't do that because we are not safe. Really start to listen to what's going on, what the conversations within you are. And then you can start tuning into, okay, I know that this is intuition. I know that this is of something that's greater. That's really what your intuition is. It's like that quiet stillness, the inner knowing. That's intuition. And again, it's practice to start tuning into that. And the more you can do that, the more you can start to trust yourself and really know, yes, I'm on the right path. Even though this seems crazy, I'm listening to the guidance that I'm getting from within. And the third thing to do is to reflect on the fear of getting it wrong. I referred to this earlier that the reason that we seek external validation is a lot of the times is driven by the fear of mistake. It's the fear of the consequences or the punishment or whatever we think is going to happen if we get it wrong. And this is something that you might want to journal about. This is something that you can take with you because once you start to tune into, okay, is this decision coming from fear or is this something that's really aligned with my team? Is it aligned with my business? Is it aligned with the vision of growth? Or is this a reaction of fear because I don't know what's what right now? I mean, the truth is that there's no such thing as the perfect choice. It's only your choice, right or wrong. And it's okay to be right, it's okay to be wrong. And I think once you recognize that and step into that place, then it becomes a lot easier to trust yourself. Because sometimes we make the consequences of failure so big that we just simply get paralyzed by a decision. And taking that step ultimately will lead to growth. And it will bring success or it'll bring a lesson. Either way, you're gonna win. It's all good. And this is something that I talked about earlier about extending trust outward to your team. Because this is where the magic happens. The more that you trust yourself, the more that you have that certainty within yourself, and you're not looking for a ton of certainty outside of yourself, you can extend that trust outward. And your team will appreciate that. The people around you will appreciate that and respond to that in ways that you cannot imagine. They'll have confidence. They'll be empowered. And you have deeper connections and you have more meaningful relationships because that trust is there. And there is freedom in trust. There is so much freedom in trust that you have this true collaborative, authentic atmosphere. And that's ultimately what can transform you. It's what can transform your world. And I know that this isn't easy. It can feel hard, especially if you have a lifetime of this pattern of hesitating, of looking for everything else outside of you. It's okay. It's just right now, it's just the invitation is just to notice. And it's just to take one step in that direction of pulling back and saying, you know what? I'm going to lean in to myself and I'm going to go within and see what I can discover. And maybe you'll have that courage to make the decision from that place. And it might take a while to get there. And again, that's okay. This is a process. So enjoy it because you're going to learn a lot from it. Keep one small promise to yourself. Take one moment to tune in. You already have the trust within you. It's just a matter of tuning into it. It's just a matter of nurturing it and bringing it forward and removing the obstacles that are in the way. And of course, I really want to hear from you. What's one way that you're going to be building trust within yourself? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. Now, go forth and create. And if this resonated with you, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment. Happy to hear from you.